Well, it took me 7 months, but I finally finished all three books in the Mistborn trilogy, the original Mistborn trilogy, by the way. And yeah, this final book took me almost 2 months to read. Not that I didn't like it, I really enjoyed it. It's probably my favorite of the trilogy. But I was also reading Big Little Lies and Poor Things at the same time, so, not the fastest reader. I just kind of listen to the audiobook when I'm at the gym lately. So I don't even know why I buy these physical books. I think I just like how they look on myself, and this cover looks really pretty. Anyway, on to the review. So, the Hero of Ages is the prophesized savior. They're supposed to save humanity. They're the chosen one. And we find out that Vin defeating the Lord Ruler, who was the original Hero of Ages, kind of, she accidentally unleashed Ruin, who is the bigger enemy. So I like when fantasy series do this. Well, they have the big bad, and then you like there's an even bigger bad. If the Lord Ruler Rashek, if he was Darth Vader, then Ruin is Palpatine pulling the strings, and that's basically what Ruin is. He kind of pulls the strings, makes people think thoughts that they wouldn't otherwise be thinking. It's very clever, kind of terrifying in a way to think like, you don't really have free will. Somebody's controlling you, like giving you subliminal messages, and you don't even know. That's terrifying. The voice in Vin's head that she thought was her brother Reen was actually Ruin the entire time. That was a good twist. I really like that. Now, why Ruin wants to destroy the world, I don't know. You know, all powerful villains who want to destroy the world, I never really get the motivation for wanting to do that, because, like, what's the point? But wants to, but preservation stopped him. Ever since he got out of the Well of Ascension, he's been getting up to all sorts of tomfoolery, man. He's been making the sky red, ashes are falling, it's the apocalypse. It's crazy, it's the end of days. Now, the Lord Ruler knew about this, so he kind of had little hidey places where he'd keep food and water and all these resources. So they're trying to, like, now, years later, Vin and Ellen are trying to find where these places are. I like Ellen in this book a lot because it shows how far his character has gone from book one, where he's kind of, you know, wide-eyed, optimistic nobleman, and then two, he's trying to become a king, and working through all that, and now at three, he's finally at the best version of himself. That's a really good arc. Unfortunately, it's hard to be the best version of yourself when the world is like crumbling to ash. So what a great time for self-realization. Someone else who has a really good arc in this is Sazed, who, after the love of his life, Tyndall, died in book two, he kind of lost his faith, which is really major because Sazed is the keeper of old religions. His ability is to be able to store memories inside of him, so he knows everything about every religion ever. And him losing Tyndall kind of turns him into this agnostic. He doesn't know what to believe in. He has this crisis of faith, which is upsetting for him because faith has been very important to him until now. So he has a really good arc of self-discovery here. Book's developed a bunch of weird powers, and he sees visions of Calcio telling him what to do. So he's going through it as well. Everybody's going through it in this book. Soon is sentenced to death. Rest in peace, my man Ten Soon. Because he went against the other conjure people and helped out Vin, which is a big no-no. They have this very big, long, epic fight scene, which reminds me a lot of Return of the King. Another cool twist is like the earring that Vin's been wearing that her mother gave her is this thing that's supposed to stagnate her powers. So they realized that, and they just kind of so he's able to harness the power of the mists, which is a cool twist. It shows that her mother was crazy, but she knew a little bit more than we previously thought. So Vin kind of ascends to this higher state of being, and C is kind of fighting Ruin on like just this other state, I guess. That it's I kind of think of it as like Edward was alone, like that whole other state of being. Caesar gets his faith back and he starts believing in a terrorist religion because they're the only religion without any fallacies to them. Which is, I wish our planet had one of those, but Luke finds out that Ruin was also influencing him, because Ruin's he's just that little asshole, isn't he? He's just that big little asshole. He manipulates Spook, he manipulates Vin, he manipulates Elend. Very, very good villain. He's like kind of Lovecraftian, you know. You, he's like beyond all understanding. I like villains like that, like the Great Intelligence from Doctor Who reminds me a little bit of that. So during the battle, one of Ruin's henchmen, Marsh, he unfortunately kills my boy Elend with an axe. Very tragic, because, I liked him. He was like, well, fuck you guys, because we destroyed Ruin's body, so he'll never get his power back. And then his head just kind of flies away. So, at least he got a little ha-ha at the end. And then, realizing that since Ellen's gone and she has nothing left to live for, sacrifices herself to kill Ruin, which is a very emotional scene because I like Vin. She's awesome. So that was really sad, but also badass at the same time. It was a great scene. The gem like holy shit. So it turns out that Vin was not the hero of ages. Neither was Ellen. It was actually Sazed, because he has all the memories, so he could help rebuild the world. Which is cool, because I think Sazed is probably my favorite character in the book. So I also like Vin. Then I gotta give to Brandon Sanderson. He pulls no punches. He's willing to kill off almost anybody, isn't he? Um, like not as bad as George R. R. Martin, but a lot more than some of the other fantasy authors I've read. Sometimes or just authors in general like to play it safe a lot. He didn't. Dead, 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 dead. So he's able to get the essence from Vin and Ruin's bodies to reshape the world, and now they have blue skies and golden sunshine all along the way. So I'm sure David Lynch will be very happy to hear that. So, there's a couple metals. There's two metals they haven't discovered yet. So they're going to try to find those metals, and they're going to rebuild society. So the book ends on a very bittersweet ending because, yes, half the cast is dead, including our main character. But also the bad guys defeated. It's not the end of the world anymore, and the future is bright, which is a good way to end the book. They said like for the first time ever, he thinks everything's gonna be okay. Spook does, so that's a really sweet way to end the book. Very bittersweet. It made me emotional. I like when books make me feel something, or just movies or media in general. It, it's Sorry, my kitty's so cute. Um, so yeah, very good way to end a very good trilogy. I highly recommend this to anybody who likes fantasy, like if you're into A Song of Ice and Fire, um, but actually want to read something with a beginning, middle, and end. I highly recommend the Mistborn trilogy. Or if you like Lord of the Rings, you'd probably like this too. Anything like, combining fantasy with political intrigue and well-written characters. I, you know, I think Mistborn's for you. I probably won't read The Alloy of Law for a few months. That is the first one in the sequel series, Rax and Rain. So I don't really know much about that series, but I know it takes place, like a century or two later. So whenever I get around to that, hopefully it's good. But as far as my Brandon Sanderson readings go, I plan on reading Rollbreaker in March, so my video will probably be out mid-March for Rollbreaker. And I plan on reading The Ray of Kings, which is the first book in the Stormlight Archive, in May, so expect that video mid-May. So I probably won't be reading The Alloy of Law until June. So, I'm going to take a little 4-month break from talking about Mistborn, but, I'm not done with Brandon Sanderson, because, like I said, expect those two videos in the meantime. So let me know what you guys thought of the Mistborn trilogy. What was your favorite book in it? Who's your favorite character? Do you think I'd like Roadbreaker or Stormlight or the Alloy of Law or all the other Brandon Sanderson uh, Cosmere series? Please let me know down in the comments below. And what is your favorite thing about my buddy Momo? My favorite thing is that he is very he's very cuddly and I don't know, he's very affectionate for a cat. He always wants to cuddle with me. So that's my favorite thing about Momo. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Talk to you guys next time. Peace.